All right, so we want to move on to our first breakout session, which is on best practices for trauma-informed and survivor-centered care. So what we're going to do is break up into 3 groups based on either your area of interest or the target population that you serve. So let's say you work at NAPTIP. NAPTIP serves men, women, and children. You can choose which of the groups you would like to go to. So one group is going to be on men, and the other group will be on children, and the other group will be on women. So if your primary population is women, then please join the group that is women, which I think is yellow. Yes, yellow. So these 2 tables will have discussions about trauma-informed care and survivor-centered care. That table in the back, I believe, is men. Those 2 tables, orange, men, and then if you serve children, we have these 2 tables here. So we're going to bring the tables together. There'll be a facilitator that's helping us through some of the questions as we flow. So you will please nominate one member of your group that will report back to the plenary and share some of your best practices on trauma-informed care and so on. So let's move quickly. Any questions? Any questions, or are we all set? Okay. I'm coming over to... What does your organization think? We don't create our own solution and then say, this is what you must do. And we're always trying to push them out of the box. So like I said earlier, most of them are looking at hairdressing. I'm so tired of hairdressing. Hair care, fashion design, catering. And so we're always saying, the thing, those markets are already oversaturated. Unless you're distinct in some way, unless your hairstyle is something that nobody has seen before, then you're just going to blend it with everything. You're not be sharing the market. Why don't you think about this instead? Try this instead. And so we base it based on their own skills, their own strengths. And so when we look at that, that's what survivor-centered care means, meaning that you're focusing on their personal skills. You're looking at what they want, and all of these things. Thank you. And they get to choose for themselves. So that's what survivor-centered means. And then trauma-informed, it means that when they start, like we have survivors who, after we've set them up in the hair care, they'll do the hair care for 6 months, and then all of a sudden they'll come back and say, I don't think I want to do hair care again. Nothing is so annoying, you know, right? So annoying because you feel like you've invested the time, you spend the money, and then now they want to do hair care. But because of they haven't dealt with some of that trauma, the confusion is too much in their mind. They want to talk to them consistently. But when you make yourself feel like you relate with them one on this person talk to them like how far, things like that. You see them, I want to go for now, like a friend, not this period. But most time they feel better when they flow more when they're like a sense of water when you're talking to them. You know he's a man, you are thinking that they have to you talk to him like a man, you don't talk to him like so you hire this as person in the position of power. Because they like the color of this one, they may choose something like this. We also look for the lens of trauma. Color everything. I use my own personal experience. I wasn't very good at and for many years, I didn't myself. I had all the shame. I was thinking about what has happened to me. And I couldn't even in my relationship, like almost, I thought I was married. It was hard for me to be around my husband because
to share perhaps experience in all the shelter in the city in order to and then we happen to actually involve male business. We discovered when they interact with us, they are not open, they are not free to open up. But we discovered the cook is a male, the cleaner is a male, also the shelter manager is also a male, the security personnel they are also male. So we see them talking as if they are a family. So the kids they don't even share with us. They share with the shelter manager, they share with the cook. And we begin to get information more. It begins to be so those who are like, we call them like contract staff, then we who are the core management staff. So I think formal setting, in terms of having interactions with them, we have less formal interactions, we get more from them, and we're able to accompany them in their formal life.
Two of us can do. You can break it into two. Alright, so that's okay. So you will
What shelter is that, please?
It's Caritas Nigerian Shelter.
Okay, Caritas.
Yes.
in the way where you're working currently.
Because I'm really very concerned about this male shelter issue.
Yes.
Because there's been a challenge in those states.
It has. We
Having
last year actually. We just worked for 1 year now.
okay, so I don't know where to refer
We shared with
male
someone.
And
patients.
We referred to them.
Because I don't know about the male part.
What's the follow-up?
Dr. Funke, about
Yes.
and your male, you do children too. Your shelter.
No.
Children are they allowed?
Children are not allowed, except maybe there is space for them. But we wouldn't want to keep men adults per se and children together. But if the place is not fully booked with male, as an adult male, we can accommodate children. But for now, it's just 15 persons capacity, so we can't really, except we get another space for children. But in the nearest future, we hope to have a space for children.
The idea that we want is that you may have a different way
I don't know. Are there other organizations that?
And so when somebody now says, come, let's travel to India, what do you think she's going to do? Automatically, she's going to grab down. If you're not going to be dealing with this individual, you are seeing her at the point when she returned back to Nigeria. And then I said, what was the experience in trauma in Libya? What was it like? That was not where it started from. Where it started from was when she felt abandoned, there was that loss. You understand? So that's the concept, that's the angle we are coming from. And so if we're going to be able to help them, we must go back to the places that everybody has had an experience of trauma. And so because they have had an experience of trauma, that informs their behavior, that informs whatever it is that they're going through. So what is the organization doing? What do you think the organization is doing enough? Are you using this approach in dealing with some of the people that you see?
Because on arrival, when they bring them in from Lagos, we receive them in this welcome program is a total package. Okay. So first questions, they meet with the ICT. Take their bio.
So those of us are not talking, let's write our own, just pinpoint it. Because, okay, so who is going to represent the people? To represent them.
Chooks will.
Chooks will.
So let's hear it.
Alright, go ahead.
So when they arrive, there's this all-round people participating from ICT that take from biodata to the medicals that will have a check-up on the people who need attention. And the one that cannot be managed on the spot and we take you straight to the hospital. After that, they move to the investigation unit in case some of them have complaints. Like I want to talk to you because at some point we got to discover that some of these traffickers came with them in the same vehicle. So some of them were able to identify and signal.
We're the one that will bring them.
They come with them as victims. You know, the mission, they call them, because they returned voluntarily from the deportation camp where they came from. Some of these traffickers still come with them as victims. So we have had cases where when they spot these traffickers that they gave money to, they just signal the investigators. This is the person that trafficked us. He's here in our midst. So they pick them up from there. And then, the police and their section, how they don't want to give away information counselors, which is the last table they visit before leaving. Now, when they get to the table of the counselors, even before they get to the counselors, on their way from Lagos, if any red flag is spotted, there's a flag. So person is coming, please look out for this name and this name, so that immediately they learn, swing into action and you know what to do. So we do what we can, stabilize the person for that person to be able to proceed and go to where she's going. Majorly, when we talk about return migrants, for us at the task force, there are more of males than females. Do you understand? There are more males than females. And these guys, for me so far, I think the females have been able to absorb a lot of their problems compared to the guys. Because these guys keep going and coming, making demands. I need this, I need that. And let's take for instance, we have like a family, man, woman, and kids coming in at the same time, who have gone as far as renting apartments because they can't stay where single people stay. Go as far as renting apartments for them to be able to manage and getting them some household requirements, enable them to function well, basically from where they are staying. Now, it comes to a time where we also work with some partners who will say, we want to do this for return migrants. Please give us 200 names, give us 100 names, give us like that. We have to compile this list and send to them. That's what, which is why many of them get trained and then empowered. Aside from what IOM has been doing for them, because they've brought them into Nigeria. And from Lagos, each state take care of their persons, which every state has been doing on their own. So it gets to a point where some people pick a business, you rent a shop, you equip, some partners will join.
Please, I feel we are diverting from the major how our
because okay, you are from the same organization.
I'm from NAPT. But what we are saying is, let us not.
Everybody is. We will still talk about it. But I think she's just sharing her.
I'm just sharing our own experience.
Yes, no. What I'm saying is, let us discuss. But we have time. Let us discuss more trauma of your victim. Yes, that's what I want.
She, you know, the trauma informed thing I shared. You know, sometimes you have structure in the program, and it's like they must just follow it. Part of what I was even waiting for her to finish was what's the duration of this individualized care services. Is this like a 2-day thing? Is like a 1-week thing? You understand? Some of us say, let's look at all of that. I want us to put it down. Everybody put down what is it in terms of collaboration, in terms of choice, all of that, all of these big factors under it. What exactly do we do? Is it just structured and it cannot be changed? Or we allow them to also be part of the decision making? And let's see, has it worked? What we do now, like some of the survivors have also spoken with us today, and we know that there are some hidden things that they did not even say there. Yeah? Yes, they will ask us to come and do this, we'll gather people together, give them money. At the end of the day, they go and share the money. Because what we are saying again is the truth of why did they go? There is still debt. We have not solved it. And when we don't solve it, what happens to them again? They go back. So it's like the same thing. So what is it that we're doing? Are we doing trauma-informed care? Are we doing it effectively in our centers? If we are not, what are the challenges? If we are, how are we doing it? So what have you found to be good in this trauma-informed care? You had shared your own experience of what and what to do. Part of what she had shared is also what they do, and it's also trauma-informed. But then to a greater extent too, is it allowing them to also have a choice in the treatment plan? You understand what we're saying now? So let's look at what we do now differently. How many people we have? Tax force, NAPT, NCFR. Okay. Genesis Health. You're from Lagos. Oh, that's good. Okay.
SFR also Ijebu.
You're from Ijebu. This thing is Okay, that's also in Benin.
When a victim want to get justice, and I have to prosecute, and he gets justice, I think that will help.
Okay, so that means you don't work as a standalone.
Ma, you are from DPP, right?
Yeah, I'm the acting.
Uh-huh.
They don't work as a standalone.
No, they don't. They are part of the task
They
force.
work as a team. That's what I'm saying. Okay, but now, so since you are part of a team, then look at it from that approach. Do you understand that? You're working as part of a team now, because when it comes to the legal or finding justice, that's where you come in. So that means you're not a standalone. It's not just justice that we're dealing with here. Some people have started the process before it gets to you, and then you now take it up from there. Okay, so let's quickly look at it. Are we all written down? Mom, did you write? What? Okay, structure. Okay. So what did you write? On the first thing.
Then sometimes we take them on special treatment. I for one have bought some of them things, snacks, discuss things outside their journey.
You understand? And the old ones, they have influence on the new ones. So at times, if they don't choose to talk to us directly, so they can talk to their roommates. And from there, we get information on how to go back counseling.
You want to say something?
No, I'm just agreeing with what you said.
You are from the same organization.
Sometimes from the other victims that we get information of what really happened.
Because you know what? Oh,
And most preferable, like if the survivor is an Hausa person, we have people from different backgrounds that can have free to talk with you, understand?
you know what? I raised that when she was sometimes talking is not what they want to do. They just want somebody that will just give you feedback, and they know that you are consistent and you are there for them. You understand? At least from my experience working with them, I found out that they may not want to talk. They may not even want to see anybody. Because at that point in time, don't forget that what we're talking about is the mind. It's not just the physical trauma. The trauma we're looking at is with the mind. And so it's going through a lot of processes. And so they don't want to even just say anything about it. And so after a while, they start opening up gradually. The truth again is what they will tell you at that point in time. It's a tip of the iceberg. Because there might be so many things that they had repressed to be able to function. So it's going to take a while for them to. So one thing that we must be able to do with them is must be very patient.
Some very intense ones.
Months, yes. Some years. Must be very, very patient with them.
Because the story they will give you after a while, you come out and
change it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes. You know what you just said? It's a complete replica of one of my experiences. It's one of our returned migrants who it took like 2 whole years to tell us what happened. We were working, in fact, the chairperson took personal interest in this girl. She so loved her. There was nothing, anything, no matter the training, she would say, add her anything. She would participate. It took me a long time before she gave up that truth that it was really her mom that trafficked her at age 15.
Can you imagine that?
And this girl stayed in Libya for almost 10 years.
To get her wrap around the fact that it was her mom
Yes.
that sold her off, it's going to be difficult.
Yes, it's very difficult because she knows the police will come after the mom. So she didn't want to give up that identity. Now, it so happened that when I personally went looking for the mom because I was wondering why each time you mentioned her mom, she would just snap. I don't want to see her, I don't want to see her, don't bring her in, I don't want anything. I don't want to stay with her. I was wondering, this is not thing she ever did. She's your mom. She gave birth to you, she did not let you die. She just doesn't want to talk about it. So one day, she came to my office and said, I want to tell you something. On her own, she chatted me up in the night and said, I think she will leave me on seat. I say, yes, I will. He said, you know I love you so much. I say, yes, you know I love you more. She said, okay. I'm trusting you and I'm coming to see you tomorrow.
You got trust.
Yeah.
And it's taking a long
So,
time to build.
Yes.
That's one thing.
That's what I'm telling you. It took me 1 whole year. I didn't know she was watching me, but sometimes I just chat her up in the morning. Hey, hi, how you doing? Yeah, I'm fine. I did not sleep well. I was having nightmares. I said, okay, come on, let me rub your head so that we can laugh it off. Like that. So that day she chatted me up. I said, don't worry, come. He said, will you buy me lunch? I said, anything for you. She came. When she got there, 2 things. First, she came to let me know she's expecting. Then the second thing was that it was true. Everything I've been saying that she didn't want to agree to was true. That was her mom that trafficked her. She, no matter how much she has hated her mom, she just can't watch her being embarrassed by the police.
And we also counsel the client to let go of the sentiment in the process. But if at the end they are not ready to let go, we also let them be and not force them. Then the clients that always have reproductive problems, sometimes they will not want even the nurse to know. Sometimes they may not want even the matron to know for maybe emergency purposes. We also give them that space as well. And we give them the opportunity to choose whatever skills they want to choose. So we have a variety of hand skills in our facility, and sometimes they may start on particular skills, and after a while you realize that you're not doing well. So by the time we look back, by the time they look back to their past, they realize that someone that they didn't like or someone in their family was actually doing that particular skill, or reminds them of a particular thing that happened in their past, and they'll tell you that they don't want to do that anymore. And then they'll say they want to change. Or at the end of the program, when you want to give them startup kits, they'll tell you that they don't want that skill anymore, they want something different as a startup kit. Then during family counseling, we usually have a tussle between the family member and the clients, even when at a situation where the families they act like they want to now take the child, or the client wants to now go back to the family. So when that tussle happens, we actually look for other alternatives, especially when the client is saying they're not comfortable, they don't think they want to go back, though they've said they want to go back to the family and they're saying they don't want to go back. We actually just keep dive down. Then during the program, we actually give them the opportunity to air their views about any activity at all, even about staff, which was something that we found that actually helped the clients to actually be more comfortable with the program and actually tend to open up, if not to the counselor or the social worker or the manager, tend to open up to somebody about a severe situation that
So there are rest assured that coming back to this so when there is something like that, they treat them as of course already like they are tied to their religion, which has links to their culture. So for them, a man and a woman cannot be sitting in one room talking about what is against their religion, is against their culture. So when we want to respond to men in that manner, we ensure that the staff responding to that man is also a male like him, so that both of them could feel free and talk. Then whenever it's a woman, we get a lady or another woman to interface with her, just so that their culture is respected, so that they feel a bit more comfortable and they're able to open up and talk. And most times, even if a woman is responding to another woman, we have this mode of dressing. If you're going to meet a Muslim woman, you try to look like her to some extent. It's not like you want to change who you are, but we encourage that you do the long dress and then you cover up properly, so that when you're talking to her, she's not distracted by your dressing. Those kind of things are the things we do within my organization, and it helps us a lot because we identify with them when we do that.
Children's group now. Yeah, good afternoon. I'm presenting on behalf of the children's group. we said using care plans that are developed with the survivor, client and case officer agree to it, and it goes into their case file. Still on that same question, we need a transition phase between arrival and economic empowerment. That is the best practice. We also have focuses on empathy and immediately refer if they cannot handle it. We have a shelter for 3 to 6 months. Spiritual direction is usually given. Family tracing is conducted. Use the individual's choice to create their future plan. Then we also have use an individual approach based on level of trauma. Advise and guide returnees and survivors. Partner with central hospital when medical needs exceed their capacity. Then we has a trained counselor which conducts one-on-one counseling for at least 2 months. Refer cases to survivor center. Counsel the family members who may reject any of the returnees. Then last one we have partnerships are key. When their capacity is exceeded, follow up with children to determine their areas of need. That's survival center. These are our answers to the number 1 question. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. From the yellow corner, our response to how our organization is structured to trauma and informed and survival center. One, we have the need to synergize with sister agencies not to jeopardize the effort of others by just empowering victims or survivors without the proper confirmation if the persons is or are fit to manage his or herself. Two, we have voluntary admission awareness, choice of vocational skills, empowering them with life skills, family counseling and integration, individual and group therapy, respect their capacity and learning, voluntary practice withdrawal, information research. We have, sorry, I can't say these things very well.
Read the summarized one. Read the summarized one.
Okay.
The summarized one.
The response to healing processes are different based on the victim or survivor. Creating friendly environment to make them open up and feel safe. Hospitality, by treating them with care and love. Don't give them time to want to open up because everybody does not respond at the same pace. One-on-one counseling, family counseling, and then if at some point the victim or survivor choose not to go home, the person should be allowed a time that when the person will be comfortable to say, yes, I think I can stay on my own without my family, because most times these persons are rejected and they feel they don't want to go home until they have something to show on arrival. So these are what the Yellow House have presented on trauma management.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm representing the Orange Corner, the men's group. Our discussion, just itemize it on 2 notes. So, in response to the first question, each organization is to consider religion and culture to avoid distractions and the men open up. Because the men, as we all know, are egoistic people. So, in trying to make them open up, in trying to make them open up, you try to make them comfortable in discussing with them, like you consider their religion and their culture. Like when you are going to talk to a man, maybe from the northeast and northwest, you don't just go dressed anyhow. You must dress like they are women, or you must dress like them to make them comfortable to respond to you. And also, men are pretty comfortable around other men. Some men respond to other men, they don't just respond to women. So you have to have a combination of male and of female staff. That's what we have in the Orange Canal. Thank you.
From the gentleman's corner, we came up with some innovations from other organizations like Getters. The formulation of the Go Getters group, where awareness is made credible by messengers who have actually gone on these routes and experienced things that others haven't. So it's better to use them as messengers to deliver these messages. We also have returnees, accompanying caregivers when they go out for programs so that they can give their own side of the story. That was brought in by Kosovo when they go for like outreaches at churches, markets, mosques, and other places and schools. We also have dialogue sessions with parents that was brought up by GPI, where they do like family counseling. They use survival testimonies to raise awareness, and in some cases, even maybe use stories as scripts to develop stories for screen, print, and other media. Best practices. We plan field visits to destination and transit countries. Like she mentioned, there was a visit organized to Agadez, which is one of the stops on the route to Libya from Nigeria. And that further opens our eyes to understand the experiences people are going through or have gone through on those routes. To create stories, I mentioned that earlier. This was mentioned here. Well, now the best practices involve law enforcement because of fear of reprisals when they are reuniting victims. We also mentioned that the use of community leaders while doing this is also effective because they can call the parents to order. One of the ladies who gave her story here mentioned that the parents are one of the problems, pushing them out. So we use community leaders to address the parents. Like when your girl speaks, they kind of comport themselves. And like the Nazi officer mentioned that also gave rise to what the OBA did some years back, placing a ban, of course, on traffickers as well as the Judo priests that Anista holds on them. I think that is all we have on now.
Yeah, question from Yellow Corner. Says, what have you found to be good trauma survival center learning found to be informed or practice innovations? Well, it was a collective response from the Yellow Corner. We have one-on-one counseling because sometimes when a survivor or a victim comes to a place and then too many eyes on the person, they don't want to talk because they don't know who is listening, who they can even believe in, trust, and all that. So they want a private place where they can feel secure, safe, and want to open up to an extent, if not all. So we'll have a peer support group. Sometimes when they can't tell, they don't want to tell you something because they feel you are a boss or something. The sessions they have with themselves in the evenings or whatever time they choose to, when some of them narrate their experiences, the person might just feel relaxed to want to open up. Yes, me too, I went through something like this and like that. So hearing from some of their peers will make them want to talk. Feeling, yes, okay, I'm not alone in this. So it means I have friends in the house who have also gone through the same phase. Life skill training, giving them the choice
to pick what they really want to do and not dictating for them what they should do. And because if you choose for them, because at some point we get responses like, I don't even know what I want to do. So for a caregiver, you don't want to rush into choosing, okay, you go and do this or go and do that. You just say, okay, take your time. Think about it, come up with something you think you really like, something you have there for and want to do. So that by tomorrow, the person will not say, I didn't want to do this, so she was the one that said I should go and do it. Now it's not working, I don't like it. So these are chances they need to be able to really believe in themselves, so that when they are fully reintegrated into the society, they will feel, yes, I did this, and I know I got encouragement and all that, but at last I was able to do it myself. So referral mechanisms has one of the things the yellow corner came up with is sometimes you have these very complicated cases, like some very terrible red flags. If you wait from now till another 2 weeks, you're not coming up with anything. You want to refer, bring in professionals that know how they get to those persons, touch them really so that they can get help as soon as possible, so that things won't really get spoiled before you start assessing help for such persons. So you just refer them to places where they can get help, so that they can start coming out of it. It's not like coming out of trauma is not an overnight thing. It takes time. Like my sister over there said, people respond differently. Some people are able to lock out their own. Some people are able to just say no. The flashbacks keep coming. So the ability of a victim or a survivor to shut it out and want to move on with his or her life makes the difference a whole lot. So you refer to places where such persons can easily get help and they move on with their lives. Welfare support is one of those key things. At some point, it becomes a kind of challenge to some of us caregivers, because sometimes you want to access funds, it's not easily coming through. So you do this sourcing internally to assist, because there's no way you can work with a survivor or a victim without this care. Care is the key thing they want to see. Okay, if you say it's like you want to take a destructive play object from a child, you have to replace it with something else. Because if you don't, that child will start seeing you, what is it doing? Do you know I really need this thing? So if you want to, for the well-being of such a child, you replace with something else that will take the attention of the child away from that destructive one you want to do. So care is key in all we do as caregivers. You have to know what is it this person wants, because at some point, a lot of them are very picky. When it comes to food, they'll tell you, I don't want this, I don't want that. But I've had cases where the person that has a contract of bringing in food will bring in a particular kind of food and say, what is this one? We don't eat this kind of food. You can't yell at them or make alternative arrangements for them to just manage and then see what you can do subsequently. So these and more put together are things they really need, so that they will think, they want to believe in you to know at least these people are feeling our pain. They know where we're coming from, what we're going through. So at some point, we too have to adjust for things to work. They are making adjustments, we have to adjust so that we are the beneficiaries. We have to do something for us to meet at a point that is really going to be beneficial to us. Thank you.
Women's group. After much deliberations, we came up with a few points that were especially. And the first one here is psychological and psychosocial support for the traumatized persons. Like, you just try to give them psychological sessions to see the ones that are deeply traumatized. And after that, we go for counseling, which is basically one-on-one, so that they can feel free to express themselves and talk about the trauma. Because the way that's the way where they can, heal from trauma when you talk about it. And after that, the ones that require medical care are given. Because medical care is a very key part of the whole process. And also evaluation. After the medicals comes with evaluation, they extend to find out what they want to do after the trauma they've gone through. And after that, most of them want to go into business, they want to, whatever they want to do, school, go to back to school, whatever they want to do. And after that comes empowerment. there has to be funds for them to, carry on what they want to do. Because most of them, when they see that you're not helping, or you don't do anything tangible for them, they may lose interest in the whole process. And after that, that's like empowerment. They just treat them like that. But most of them, like the guy, the man, was something about that. You tell you want to do this, and you give them money, and then they don't do it. So there has to be monitoring and follow up to see if they're actually doing what they're doing. And once they're doing well, to keep encouraging them. And after that, there's the community engagement. Like you try to see how they are serving back in the community after the trauma they have gone through. And lastly, we just came up with an innovation that if there's anything the organization cannot respond to, they need to refer. Even you know that in the next 2, 3, 4 weeks, you cannot really provide solutions to, you can always make referrals. Thank you.
Thank you.
Challenges. We don't advocate for good governance because we don't want to rock the boat. And so many of us, we shy away from what the root problem is. The root problem is good governance. We lack good governance. So each and every one of us should focus on good governance that will prevent the push factors from the country. Not enough funding to help those that have been convinced not to travel. And so many people will go out for market sensitization. After you have spoken to them, they now tell you, yes, I have children, 5 girls that are graduates. Now you are asking them not to travel. What is the solution? There's no enough fund for you to share among those family members. So no enough fund for those who are not willing to travel. There's nothing for them to do. The mindset orientation is actually needed. That is a particular problem. They need to reorientate every other person's mindset. They need greater synergy with partners such as clinical psychologists. In some organizations, there are no clinical psychologists, so we need more clinical psychologists and need to synergize with them and partner with them. So we also need capacity building for more staff to become counselors. In this particular organization, they are short of counselors. This is actually one of their challenges. So they need capacity building for more staff to become counselors. These are collective from our group. I didn't want to mention the organizations just in case some organizations are not there. Thank you.
We answered the fourth question, number 3, sorry. The question is, how was your organization handle extreme cases of trauma? For example, suicidal ideation, physical aggression, etc. The collective response started by saying we need to counsel the victim once again. When counseling is not doing the work in total, we will refer the person for some attention by treating them with love and care, because at some point, the love and care thing, they might not understand where they are going. They need to know where they are going, and a counselor has to go with them to be safe. They are not sending them away to another place. If they insist that they don't want to go, the psychiatric or the psychologist will have to come to them to have a session so that they will understand that you're not just sending them away, but referring them to a place where they can get help. We talked about inviting faith-based organizations because we're Nigerians, and to a very large extent, Nigerians believe a lot in the power of prayers. So, what the psychiatric or psychologists cannot do when our men and women of course have compassion, it will work. So these are what the Yellow Corner came up with. Thank you.
And in response to the third and final question, eventually we came up with And the question is, what rehabilitation need to be more trauma or survival center? We came up with regular trainings on several dimensions of trauma to get caregivers have a glimpse of what to do always. And also we came up with having them to better attitude with dealing with trauma. And also to train the staff to be more patient with the victims. And she also endeavor that the traumatized people are always at ease when they are being talked to. Oh, came up with, thank you. We also came up with organizing recreational activities for caregivers and also the traumatized people so that it can be a kind of a rapport between both. Thank you very much.